Hello again, everybody. This is Michael, KE4EST. I just want to do a quick video here just to show you a couple things here about oscilloscope probes. This is going to be an unscripted video, just going to off the fly here, on the fly. Something that I keep coming across and seeing people talk about, or somebody run into this problem, and here's a good example of it. I'm working on a circuit here, doing some testing and whatever here, and anyway, it's beside the point. And I've got this old scope here hooked up, and I was noticing, even I caught myself doing it, you know, used to newer stuff, whatever, but I was looking at some things here, because sometimes an analog oscilloscope can really help you out on things. You can see things differently, you know, in different ways with an analog scope. So I fired this analog scope up and was going through some stuff and analyzing the signal, and I'm looking at the signal here and going, let me see if I can turn the brightness down on that. It's coming in really bright on the, and again, excuse the I'm just hand holding the camera here, so if it's a little shaky, but I'm looking at this and I'm going, what kind of, this is supposed to be a square wave, at least anyway, and I'm like, what is this, a cross between some kind of sine square wave, you know, intermetal relations or something going on here? You know, with what I'm working on, I'm like, this ain't right though, this is just not, no. And it's several megahertz signal. I'm like, wait a minute. So I go over here, look at the scope probe. If you can see that, we're set on 1X. Let's go look at this. I just got these in. It was the scope probes that came with this. I think I've had this for 20 some years, and it's pretty ratty. So I just got these scope probes. And what are they? Hand-Tech. And I got the PP200 version, 200 megahertz version. They seem to be fine for what I'm doing, whatever. They're not the most expensive, but I'm looking here, and let's look. Wow, why did that go so yellow? Anyway, let's see here. Alright. Bandwidth at 1X, DC to 6 megahertz. And times 10, which, you know, is really divide by 10, but DC to, and I've got the like I said, the PP200, so 200 megahertz. Alright, so let's go here, let's flip it to 10 and bring our vertical gain up here. Oh, look at that. That is a square wave. But I'm starting to see, I can see the overshooting and the funky things going on with it here that I'm looking for. It's kind of an odd looking square wave, but it's a square wave now. Because I was exceeding, I was going well beyond the 6 megahertz. Well, not well beyond it, but definitely past 6 megahertz. I'm like, oh, let's put it in times 10, and voila, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's a lot of things, you know, gotta remember, a lot of these, you know, it's just the way it is. You get a scope, and I've, you know, come across other people doing this. They have, and, you know, I caught my own self doing with that. You know, I'm busy, I'm building this little circuit up here and doing my thing and all this, and then I'm like, why is this what is going on? I'm like, oh, duh. So, yeah. Remember, on these scope probes, you know, if you want the full resolution bandwidth of the scope probe, if it's a 50 megahertz or 100 megahertz or 200 megahertz or even a 500 megahertz scope probe, even the expensive ones, even if you get the high dollar, you know, expensive probes, you need to set it on the times 10 or times 100 range to get the full benefit out of it. So anyway, just thought that might help somebody out that's not come across that or not thought about it, or, you know, just getting ready to get you a scope, or you just got a scope and you're experimenting around with it. Now you remember, of course, you'll have to, now some scopes, you can go in, there'll be a button somewhere or a soft menu key in, you know, these new digital scopes to set it. What probe do you have? You have a times 10 or times 1 probe hooked up, and you can adjust it and select it and punch the button, and there you go. And software, some of them have a button, some of them, the really nice scopes, the end of the scope probe where it goes on to the BNC connector here has got a data pin that will send data to it, like an I2C or whatever, into the scope to say, hey, you know, I've got that. But of course that's on the more expensive high dollar scopes. So if you're just got a budget scope and you're just starting out with this stuff and you're messing around, yeah, go check that. Make sure, you know, if you're doing some I don't want that focus there, you're doing some little small stuff, audio frequency work, whatever and stuff, you'll be fine. But you get up into the several megahertz, you're going to start seeing some funny stuff, and you get really high, you'll, you know, and this scope won't go high enough, it's a 40 meg scope, but it'll turn into what looks like a triangle wave, a full-blown triangle wave, and then you'll get really, really strange looks if you don't go that times 10. So anyway, hope it helps somebody out. If this video you enjoyed it or liked it, helped you out, whatever, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, this is Michael, KE4EST. 73, everybody.